Welcome to Miller's Monsters. I'm Mr. Beelzebub. This is Count Luna. And behind me, you can only see really his midsection there is Edgar P. the Scully. Gotta make. Oh, what's that? Things are falling all over the place here. Sorry, wasn't a monster under the desk, just a book that fell. Nothing that crazy ever happens on while I'm taping. Except for Luna going for the treats. And in 1982, a movie with the title of Poltergeist came out and was a sensation and pretty much, started the whole poltergeist obsession. And did you know that it was but inspired by true events that became known as the Seaford Poltergeist? And I'm going to tell you about that in 1 minute. But first, take time, ring the bell, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, set yourself up for notifications so you don't miss another episode. And please tell your friends to like and subscribe as well. And of course, watch us. It doesn't do any good just to like to subscribe. I hope you're getting entertainment value for your like and subscribes. And after a quick break, I will be back with the true inspiration behind the film Poltergeist. Okay, we're back. And this takes place from February 3rd, 1958 to March 10th, 1958. And it involves the Herman family. Make sure I got that right. A father, a mother, and two children, a daughter 13, and a son that is 12. And again, this was the inspiration for the movie Poltergeist. And on February 3rd, excuse me, the mother and the children are downstairs in the living room, and suddenly they hear popping coming from over the house. Just pop, 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 pop. So they go to investigate, and when they do, they find that several caps have flown off their bottles. There is a bottle of holy water in the bedroom that the cap popped off of, and it tipped over. And items in the bathroom, shampoo bottles had opened. Even a bleach bottle opened in the basement. And just several medicine bottles throughout the house had just popped. And so she's worried. She called her husband, and he said, okay, he's at work. There's nothing he can do right now. And he'll look into it when he gets home. So he gets home and talks to the family, and he looks into it, and he can't find anything out of the ordinary. So they go on about their business, and this continues to happen. The next few days, they continue to be sitting around the house, and caps are flying off the bottles. And on the third time this happened, the father was home, and so he called the police, and the police came to investigate. And at first didn't see anything, and on another investigation, the officer in charge of the investigation was there, and all of a sudden caps started popping off as in front of them. And eventually they got to see these caps popping off, and the father recalled that he saw two bottles in the bathroom move in separate directions. 18 inches one way, fell in the sink and broke, and one moved the other way. And no one was around to be causing these things. So eventually word got out, and they started getting reporters there, and gaining popularity, and everything kept happening. Things were popping off. Police are investigating. They have paranormal investigators that are wanting to come into the house and investigate this. But it no matter what they did, they had someone come and came in and blessed the house, and another person came in, didn't say a word, walked around the house, kneeled down in the kitchen and prayed for 20 minutes, and yet this continued. And then it started to escalate a little bit, where they would see objects moving. And then at one time, while everybody was downstairs investigating, upstairs they heard a crashing sound, and they came running upstairs and found that a statuette had been thrown across the room and crashed against the wall. And it couldn't have been the son, because the son was sitting in the dining room with his books, and he was studying. So this continues. Again, it went on for a little over a month. Bottles popping, things moving, no one can explain a thing. And suddenly, not suddenly, but as it goes on and gains popularity, they're starting to get noticed by other people, and they think they have the answer. And one expert came in and said, well, your son has latent telekinetic abilities, and since he's always in the area when this happens, he's doing this unconsciously with his mind. And so that was one explanation. And of course, one of the most popular explanations was it was a poltergeist, or a noisy ghost. And so you had experts come in and say, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that to get rid of it. And they were still bringing in experts. Maybe it was a well with water underneath that froze, and when planes over by, there was vibrations, or some kind of cosmic interference. Man, it was crazy how many people I read they had here. They all had their own scientific explanation for it. But what it might have came down to was the simplest of all explanations. Okay, so finally they let parapsychologists into the house, and they were there for a few days, and strangely nothing occurred during those few days. But soon after they left, everything started happening again. And then came by a man he was named Osis. And he followed the case closely, and there were 70 events that have happened and been reported. And he found a few things that seemed interesting to him. And he found that, one, whenever these things happened, their son, James Jr., was in the house. 2, when these things happened at night, when he was supposedly in bed up in his room, these things would always happen in the vicinity of his room. And 3, he noted that though James Jr. was a very high scorer in his science class, so it was not out of the realm that he picked up a little science knowledge and was able to, mix a few concoctions and then set it down. And did I not feed you? Did I not feed you today? These people out here are going to think that you never get fed. Come on. There's only 3 left. 4 left. Try to make it last. All right. So he can easily mix some concoctions and set them down and wait for the chemical reaction to happen, and pop, pop, pop goes all the bottle caps in the room, especially maybe they weren't put on so tight, and the chemical reaction maybe could account for the bottles moving as well. And then he said, well, with this statuette that got thrown across the room over here so they can see you. You're the money shot. And here we go. Stop. You're killing me today. The statuette that got thrown across the room, he's like, well, you know, the kid could have pocketed it, went into the dining room, got his books all set and ready, and threw the statue from the dining room into the living room and smashed it against the wall, which is what's the problem? Which is quite a reasonable explanation. But by this time, the legend has grown, and it was becoming such a cash cow that Osis's theory was quickly disregarded. And then came a magician by the name of, and I want to get this right here, Milbourne Christopher, and he volunteered to enter the house, but he was denied access because supposedly of the staunch religious beliefs of the father. And well, you would think that, what did you do? Ouch, sorry. That with all that was going on, that he would want someone to help explain for this, but he would not let the magician in. And so the magician said, hey, I've studied, yeah, get the last one. Filling it up again. Filling it up again. Okay, that's enough of that. And the magician said, hey, I can recreate everything that happened at the house. I've studied the cases from afar, and I know how these tricks are done. So, at a press conference at his house, all of a sudden, while he's doing the interview, all the bottles, caps started popping off, and things moved and flew across the room, and the reporters were amazed. And you would think this would have been enough to debunk what was going on at the Herman house, but nope. Again, money talks, and his account was quickly quashed as well. But what happened at the Herman house did lead to one excellent movie. In fact, not at the Herman house, but in the same neighborhood, there's also a house 20 years later. Stop it. That led to the Amityville Horror. And I'm sure you'll be wanting to hear about that in the future. And I'm going to bring it to you. So I hope you liked what you saw, besides Chowhound over here going crazy. And hit that bell, ring that bell, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, set yourself up for notifications. Please tell your friends to like and watch as well, and subscribe. And I'm beginning to regret working with dogs. I will talk to you later.